Oh my god, hey, welcome back to my theatre-themed YouTube channel. My name is MickeyJo, and I am obsessed with all things theatre. And this is episode, I've literally already forgotten, 5? Are we on 5? I think it's 5. It's 5. We're on episode 5 of my recap series.
She came off the bed and started attacking me, so now she's on camera.
This has gone so well so far. So, this is episode 5 of the recap and review series of Mamma Mia, I Have a Dream, the new ITV casting show to find the next Sophie and Sky in the West End production of the musical Mamma Mia, as it celebrates its 25th anniversary at the Novello Theatre.
She keeps licking me.
This is so chaotically on brand for you that this is happening right now.
Say hello to Willow.
Yes, Willow is our guest commentator for this episode.
Who will be leaving in a second. You keep licking my face.
You've just made me sad that I don't have live animals. I have a bear and a Mamma Mia t-shirt. That's all I've got going on.
Oh, you've got
here.
enough bears. I think it counts. The fact that you have to move like 50 bears anytime I'm at your house is like...
Don't out me as a hoarder. So I am thrilled to be joined once again by, I don't even know how I was going to describe you then, and then, define
Fashion
adjectives.
queen, chaos gremlin, icon legend, the moment, the best looking guest judge and commentator that you have on this show.
I don't know how Sean will feel about that, and I obviously have to choose Aaron, but...
Yeah, okay. Don't put me last.
I'm not ranking anyone. At some point, we're going to start talking about the Mamma Mia show, because that's why we're here, everybody. I'm so glad you're back. I'm so glad we're doing this.
This is why I can't guest every week, because I just bring it off the rails.
No, back by popular demand, fellow stage YouTuber Ellie Talks Theatre, who you can find over on her own YouTube channel, on Instagram, on... Do you TikTok much?
I TikTok a little bit more now. I'm actually bringing a TikTok back.
Go be part of the Ellie Talks Theatre. Ellie Talks Theatre? Ellie TikToks... There's something there. I have invited Ellie back on this week, largely because... there's a theme. Last week, Sean and I, with our natural magnetism, were discussing Chemistry Week, and this time it was all about choreography. So I turned to, the most skilled dancer that I know, Ellie Talks Theatre.
I can give you a little preview, I guess.
I was going to ask if you have a signature move. Is it going to happen now? Nice.
I did tap for ages.
I'll edit in great tap sounds. Amazing. It was beautiful work. I mean, I was going to ask if you have, a wealth of dance experience, but I think one way or another that's answered that question for us.
I did dance a little bit. I did a little bit of tap.
I did a bit of ballet. I did a bit of jazz. Not for long. Anyway, so this was choreography week, destined to sort of test another skill, because some of these performers, and we've talked before about how the songs they're given to perform and the routines they're given to perform have been a little bit uneven up until now. Some of them have been able to show their dance ability, and others have very much stood there and sung beautiful songs. So this week, everyone was going to have to do a little bit of dance in new partner combinations. So last week, for the first time, they were partnered up. This week, they were partnered up again, and that's what happened in this episode. So let's talk through it from the beginning. We had another ABBA opening number, and this one was Voulez-Vous. Did you have thoughts about this? Because boy, did I.
I really like Voulez-Vous as a song.
I love Voulez-Vous as a song.
I love like the 90s sitcom style of jumping into the pool.
That was
afterwards.
fun. Yeah.
That was it's very 90s.
I enjoyed that. The boys were in a truly horrible octave, just a really awful vocal position to be in. And I also, my mind was blown by the fact that there's still like 10 of them and backing performers. And they had this one chorus moment where they just all stopped singing Voulez-Vous because they all were doing the ahas instead. They were just like, aha.
Yeah.
Aha. Then they did another one where nobody did the ahas. They just Voulez-Vous'd. And no one did the ahas. I was like, you don't have to alternate like this. There are 10 of you. You can share this out. You can make this work. The headline news of this episode that we did deduce last week from the preview pictures is that they were in new couples. Once again, they were going to be partnered up. Every Sky gets a Sophie, every Sophie gets a Sky, and new couples this week, which I think is good. It's good to see them with different people, to see who they could feasibly play against. Some couples had decent chemistry last week, some did not. What's interesting is we're already starting to see that very early, because Esme, who a couple of weeks ago was at the top of that power ranking after her performance of I'm Just a Girl, and then was in, I think, the bottom 2 last week.
Yeah.
She said that she felt more comfortable in this coupling. Literally more, not like more confident, but more comfortable in this coupling. I thought that was a little bit of an exposing remark.
And I mean, I think this is what we're meant to be doing. We're meant to be throwing things around, trying different things, seeing who works with who. Because, again, if you have the perfect Sky and the perfect Sophie, but they don't blend well together, then you don't have the perfect Sky and Sophie, do you?
Very true. Very, very true. Or they're just destined for divorce, and that becomes the subtext of the musical.
In that divorce, the winner would take it all.
The winner would take it... Oh, gosh, what are we, 8 minutes in already? Goodness. So once again, they were choreographed by Anthony Van Laast. He's been very present in this series. We saw him a couple of weeks ago wearing 2 hats at once. This week, 0 hats. It's a very all-or-nothing approach to headwear.
You know, he just spent his hat budget. He was allocated 2 hats, and sometimes you got to use them both at the same time.
He said, I will wear either too many hats or none at all. I refuse to conform to expectation. Let's talk about these new couples, because the way that this episode was structured was a little bit different. In previous episodes, we'd had this sort of challenge portion that they did, or a little bit of a pre-performance activity. And this time we saw each couple's preparation and their performance edited together in a whole segment. So we started with Stevie and Tobias. Now, you know I've come up with a couple name. This one is Stebias.
I guess TV doesn't flow as well, so I guess we'll go with it.
We're going with it. I mean, I wasn't actually... It's not actually a democratic process. I was just telling you what it was, but I do welcome feedback. Interestingly, I'm stepping on your toes here, because the first note I have made... Now, they were doing a Fosse number. They were doing a little bit of all that jazz, and I've been bold enough to write horrible outfits for this number. Let's talk about the fashion straight away.
You know, I've made some notes on that. My note next to it is weird choices for a Fosse number next to fashion.
It is. No one has ever done Fosse in white jeans.
The hats onto this outfit, it just didn't work. I was if there was any outfits to do all black in, it's these ones, I would have even forgiven it for being all black on camera, because I don't think black fabrics and black patterns don't really carry as well on camera.
It was giving Regent's Park does Chicago.
Like summer Chicago. The thing I find really unforgivable is Tobias has had the same outfit but with a different button-up shirt for the past 5 weeks. Come on, man.
Again, worth reminding, we don't know.
Have variety.
We do not know if they get any input, so I guess there's only one thing that they like to dress him up in, and that's...
Yeah, I adore Tobias. But every time with the fashion, I'm having to grade him lower and lower and lower, because I'm just it's another pattern shirt with white shirt and white jeans. Oh, there's another one. Oh, you're in turquoise this week because you're doing Frozen. Cute. Oh, now it's blue. Cool. Obviously, they get solo grades and a grade together because they're a couple.
Obviously.
I gave CVs a 7. Now, I think they lost points because it doesn't suit the Fosse style, but I actually did like her top. So she gets a strong 7, but Tobias gets a 4. Hammer's coming down.
You're getting button-up shirt fatigue.
I mean, that's all the boys are wearing. It's the second a blazer comes out, I'm oh, thank God.
I say that in my button shirt and my dungarees that I've been wearing for 5 consecutive episodes of this recap podcast. Now, if we dare to discuss the performance element, I thought Stevie was really great at this. She had a Fosse brow going on. She understood. Mm-hmm. She understood the assignment with that one. Tobias I also thought was really good. He was committing to it. It's not a number that's particular. Men don't normally perform this number, and it's a little bit confusing. What are you trying to give? You're trying to give Velma Kelly here. You're trying to give Sky from Mamma Mia. But I thought he made it work, and he just committed to it with enough intensity that he sold me on the concept, even if it was a bit of a weird concept to begin with.
Yeah, I think intensity. That's the word I pulled out for Stevie's performance. I was that's so perfect. She had the attitude. She was very Fosse, very Chicago. When I think of Mamma Mia though, I don't think of Fosse, which is why are we... I'm not sure why we're doing this, but even so, I'm early at the gates. I think this is my favourite performance of the week.
It was right, and the judges gave them a standing ovation. They said they set the bar.
It's really nice to see Stevie, because obviously the last time I was on this show, I was saying, oh, Stevie was my least favourite of the week. To come back now and say Stevie's my favourite, I'm like so happy about that, because I'm like, yes, you go girl, you grow, you show us a bit of Fosse, you give me all that jazz. I do have a question though.
Okay, go ahead.
So the subtitles for this said, if she hear her baby's queer for all that jazz.
If she hear her baby's queer for all that. It's not like, it's not an LGBT moment.
No. I fully was under the delusion that lyrics to that bit were, if she hear her baby squeal for all that jazz.
I hear how you would hear that.
Like, I was like, wait, what?
How many years have you been singing Baby Squeal? I mean, listen, I've heard worse misheard lyrics in musical theatre. I used to know someone who thought the TLC song was like a breakup song that was called Don't Go, Jason Waterfalls. But speaking of Stevie, I am equally happy that she is coming into her own. I do want her to, she's beginning to, but I want her to escape this narrative of her being carried by the partners she's with, because last time they were like, Owen was a really good influence on you this week. I'm like, she is so talented, and I want her to get the recognition for that.
Stevie was better than Tobias.
You think so? I think her dancing, for sure. I think she was definitely the stronger dancer, but that's not uncommon to, like, for musical theatre films.
Out of like, who like understood like the vibe of the song, I felt like out of the two, Stevie had that, you know. Yeah. But both of them together, strongest pairing of the week, just straight out the gate immediately.
So next up, we had Stephanie and Owen, Stephoen, if you will.
What about Stowen?
No, we had Stowen because Stevie was with Owen last week, so that was already Stowen.
Oh yeah.
So we need to differentiate up in here.
But Stephoen is such a stretch. Is there not a way?
You cannot be sitting here really advocating for Ophany. Like, what do you want from me?
Stefan.
Okay, sound off in the comments section if you're Team Stephoen or Stefan. Also, I'm sorry, but if you thought Fosse was inappropriate, Break My Soul. Did they really have them do Break My Soul?
Made You Look.
Oh, why did I write Break My Soul?
I think that was a song that they were playing during their workshop bit.
Oh, I got so frustrated that I just fully wrote the wrong name. You know what? That's because I don't know anything that's not musical theatre. Let me try that again.
Yeah, I really wish this was.
Let me do an actual do-over and say the right name of the song. That would be helpful.
Oh, you're not going to include this and
I'm not.
The people that you messed this up?
I can't deal with that shame. No, my mistakes get edited out and all of yours get kept in. I've just forgotten the name of the song again. What was it?
Made You Look, Meghan Trainor.
Oh, the sodding Meghan Trainor. What? Yes. No. Made You Look. Did they really have them? If you thought Fosse was inappropriate, Made You Look. They really did Made You Look as a song on that vocally showcases nobody well. What was the plan there?
Yeah, I really wish this was the week that they went all in with musical theatre, honestly. If you want to show off like different styles of choreography, I feel like going through different genres of musical theatre would have suited this a little bit better, but that's just me.
What genre was this meant to be? Was this meant to be pop or just like TikTok dancing?
I think they said contemporary, but two of the couples got contemporary.
This was TikTok. I'm sorry. This was the genre known as TikTok.
It was very TikTok. Yes.
Do you want to talk about the outfits? Was it fashion?
Twasn't
fashion. Oh.
I said that Stephanie's look was a bold choice, but I didn't like the colours together, like the weird black and white pattern with like the strange places of like the spots of bright pink and hot pink. I was just like, sure. It's a very messy look. And Owen's was simple. It's a blue top. It's fine. It's fine. So Stephanie got 3 out of 10 for her look. Ooh. And Owen got 5. So collectively a 4.
But a rough start to the week for fashion choices.
Which is a shame. Stephanie normally has some really great fashion choices.
Like, again, I will once again remind you.
She always looks so cute.
We have no reason to believe that they have any involvement as to what they wear on the TV show, and holding them responsible may or may not be complete nonsense. Back to the performance. Owen was bold enough to say that dance is not really his forte, which, you know, it's not uncommon in men in musical theatre. I've been to enough drama school auditions in my life that you see the disparity there usually.
Yeah.
Stephanie The judges noted that she does very well with choreo, that's why they throw a lot at her. We picked this up week 1 straight away. They had her doing lifts in the group opening number, they had her falling backwards off of a table and being caught by the ensemble dancers in her first ABBA performance. They have always been giving her a lot of choreography. She had that first solo week where she was doing flash dance and everyone else was just solidly standing still. So I'm glad they're acknowledging that they've given her a lot to do. She's kind of already proved herself in this aspect, so this was I guess a calmer week for her on that perspective.
Yeah, I adore Stephanie, and I adore like the choreography they keep giving her. Like I feel like she's one of the girls who like keeps kind of like surprising me every week. She like does something different. I'm always waiting for Stephanie's number. I'm like, yes, we're gonna get something fun. We're gonna get something really interesting. At the moment, I think she's probably the one I'm rooting for the most now. But
You got a fave.
But the problem is, all of my favorites keep going home.
I was going to say that.
I don't want to say
that. The kiss of death from you. Yeah.
Like literally, I was like, okay, Maddie's gone. Now I really like this one. Oh no, that one's gone. Oh no, this one's gone. And I was like, oh, I'm losing my favorites every week.
The worst thing that can happen
Darcy
to a Mamma Mia I
well.
Have a Dream contestant is they get chosen by Ellie Talks Theatre. I enjoy her a lot. I'm barely willing to comment on her performance this week because this song did nothing.
It was weird.
Really for either of them. They said she was giving pop star energy. Owen, I thought, was still a little bit campy. He does this very well. He does this like fun, exuberant, comedic, slightly quirky thing. Do I see Sky in it? Not 100%, but it is doing well. He's coming across in a very charismatic, memorable way. So far he's surviving. I don't think that's going to take him all the way to the end. But the song is just horrible. It falls flat. It's too low for her. There's nothing theatrical. There's zero storytelling. What's the story here? That like she could wear a lot of different designer labels if she wanted to, and like the story is
that she made you look. The song choice was strange, and this number did not work music theatre. It did not. I don't even like the song that much generally.
Honestly, this may have been like, I'm loving this series. I'm enjoying talking about it. I'm spending a lot of time talking about it. We watch it dedicatedly every week. This may have been my least favourite episode so far because I had a few frustrating moments like this, like the vocal arrangements in the opening I wasn't in love with. This particular number just upset me. Carrying on, I thought, Stephanie, we had a little bit of a shaky vocal. She sings beautifully. She dances very well. What we've seen now a couple of times is a vocal stamina thing where she sometimes struggles to do the two in conjunction.
But is that because they keep giving her this hardest choreography?
Well, there's that as well. There is that as well. They said to themselves afterwards that they had set the bar high for her, or she'd set her own bar high quite early on, and they wanted more emotion, which again, like the emotive storytelling that they weren't seeing in the meaningful song that is Made You Look. What are the acting beats there? Like, is she supposed to be surprised by each line? Like, you know what? I could have my Gucci on. Whoever's developing the inevitable Meghan Trainor musical, give up now. Honestly, these songs are not meant for the stage. What I did enjoy was that we had Cher's version of SOS edited into the background of the episode just in time for Amber Riley to get a call from Shaka Khan.
Snap out of it.
Which I guess was in May, and I have decided, conspiracy theory-wise, because just like a couple of weeks ago, there was a workshop of the Shaka Khan musical here in London, and I think Shaka Khan was calling Amber Riley to ask her to play her in the Shaka Khan musical. I have no reason to believe that that's the case, but that's what I've decided that was.
Honestly, if we were casting it,
listen, producer, obviously the many producers who are watching this, I don't know, Judy Kramer, you want your next hit? That may or may not be the one. But similarly, if I was on television being filmed and I was to get a call from Shaka Khan, I would announce it, but I would stand up and immediately be like, don't worry, everyone, I'm not going to take this call from Shaka Khan. Who's calling me? Oh, just like, every woman.
I'll call you back, Shaka.
I mean, she clearly lied in her song I'm Every Woman when she said, I can read your thoughts right now, because if she could, then she wouldn't have to call you in Greece. that's as much content as we can get out of that very brief moment in this week's episode.
Oh, we've milked it.
Next up, now, okay, I can already tell you're not going to like this couple name. You're just not. Because last week, we had maybe the best couple of the week, Tobias and Desmonda, who were Tobonda. And
I would have gone with Tobias, but okay. I don't hate that one.
It's like there's basically two options for these, and it's as though every time you're determined to find the other one. Yeah,
but I like a simpler name, and you seem to be making them very.
How can you argue against Tobonda? Tobonda is great.
I said that one wasn't bad. I wasn't arguing against that.
I am going to go to the live final wearing T-shirts that say Team Tobonda just because I like the name. So this week we had Desmonda and Zachkiel, and what I've got written here is Desmeal.
Oh God, no. No.
I don't know what else you want.
Again,
from me.
I would have gone simpler. I would have gone Zachkiel probably, but
that's just like one letter of her name and 95% of his name. That's so anti-feminist.
Or even Zachmonda.
Zachmonda. That sounds like an Australian snake. Right. Crikey, mate. Watch out for those Zachmondas.
This is why you call me. This is why.
When I invited you back, this was not what I envisioned. Do you want to talk about the fashion Mario Kart's Rainbow Road?
I said that this was my favourite fashion look of the week. Do you know who is consistent every single week? Desmonda. Whether it is herself or someone backstage, she has clearly bribed someone because she just keeps getting the best outfits. Just every single week. She has not missed. I'm pretty sure every single outfit that I've seen her in, I've given like a strong 8 or 9 out of 10. And this one, it's cute. The yellow, it pops. It really compliments her. And I even like the little slits on the dress showing a little bit of the
I will say
the
every
size
week
of her hip.
she always wears a new colour and I'm like, oh, that's her colour. And I'm like, oh no, that's her colour.
I think Desmonda looks good. I think Desmonda just looks good. I mean, have you seen the production photos from Aladdin?
Yeah, that's also her colour.
And Zachkiel. I quite like this one. I didn't think that they were massively his colours, but I enjoyed it. Strong 7 for Zachkiel and a 9 for Desmonda in fashion, bringing them to a solid 8 out of 10.
A solid 8 out of 10. There you go. Now, I am sorry, but waltz.
The thing is, I found it very funny. To go from the TikTok style of dance, then to Zach and Desmonda, who were just kind of staring at each other for half of the number, and then did a small waltz. I think if I was looking at that, if I was Leah or Marcellus, knowing what I was about to go and have to do, and I was watching that number, I would have been livid.
And this is the thing, is I have so many thoughts about this, because it doesn't work for so many different reasons. Because, first of all, what's the point? They're not going to be waltzing in this, unless you're in The King and I, which that's not, these two aren't doing The King and I for various reasons. The issue I have is that they all will have done Fosse workshops and classes and jazz at drama school, because we're now everyone has had some level of training. Now, Desmonda went to the Royal Academy of Music, and I think dance is involved there, but primarily it's like an acting and singing training situation, I believe. I could be completely misrepresenting that course. But she's also said dancing not her forte, and I don't think she has had as much dance training as the ones who have been to Arts Ed, for example, and done a 3-year musical theatre course. But also, as much as the waltz is something they haven't trained for, I do think it was easier than a Fosse, definitely easier than a high energy dance, because you don't have to worry about the vocal stamina when you're just kind of waltzing around. You can waltz and dance. I could waltz and dance. Dance. I could waltz and sing at the same time. It's not.
It was it was very they kind of did the ballad, they did the dance, and then they did the ballad again. It was I'm not sure.
So annoyed
I'm
by
not sure how
I can't even remember what
even it was. They were doing "You Are the Reason."
Fine.
I think their vocals beautiful. I think. I was really engaged into their performances, but I don't think this suited choreography week, personally.
It didn't really. I think Desmonda had a pretty easy ride here. If they'd given her something more upbeat and more up-tempo, that may have shown up a little bit more of a challenge for her. Because Jessie did call her the strongest vocalist in the whole thing, which is huge. That's huge praise to get in this competition. But she already had this acting stumble a few weeks back. For her to now be saying she's not really, like, dancing's not her forte. This is a triple threat week, basically. Are we now saying that she has one really strong skill out of the three, but possibly two weaknesses?
And, I mean, the one thing they keep saying is, like, oh, her acting needs to be stronger. But every single thing I've heard about her performance from Miss Saigon has been nothing but praising her acting ability.
Meanwhile, Amber Riley is telling it like it is, and she said that she has yet to be impressed with Zachkiel's vocals. She literally said, I have not been impressed with his vocals yet. And at week 5, that's now a conspicuous problem.
They were putting it quite clear into the universe that I think he was in danger unless he really, really just did something amazing this week. I mean, we're at week 5. I think at this point, I mean, from the very start, every person here is amazing. And even now, like, I feel like everyone has something about them that would really work. So you're splitting the hairs. You're going off the tiniest little details. You're going off your own personal biases and just anything to kind of narrow it down. I don't think they had a bad week. I don't think anyone had a really bad week. Maybe because of what they were given, it didn't really give them enough to show, especially in the choreography side of things.
Yeah, they said that Desmonda was an angel.
Agreed. Queen.
They said they were asking the question, Desmonda, they said she could be Sophie if her acting improves. And so they're identifying what is the challenge for her there, but at least they're asking the question. At least they're really beginning to think about, can we see her in that role? Like, can that puzzle piece fall into place for her?
But I always feel like she acts through song really well.
Meanwhile, with Zachkiel, there was a little bit of chatter about how Martin and Anthony, who work with them during the workshops, really love him. They said this might have been his best performance yet. Either they said it or I said it. I don't know. I have written here, best Zachkiel yet, but is it enough? And we will find out later in the episode. ... Next, you're not going to like this couple name either. You're just not. And
Marcellus?
I feel a little bit creatively stifled, honestly, knowing that I'm just going to be met with...
You know what? Whatever this one is, I've given you what I would go with, which is Marcellus. Whatever you say, I'm going to be on board with it.
So obviously we've chosen different things because we just simply don't agree on the... You would go with Marcellus.
Marcellus.
Again, for the second time in a row, I want to highlight to you that is one letter of her name and 95% of his whole name. That's incredibly anti-feminist, actually.
But Mia is too close to a real name, I guess.
I went with Marcellia.
Genuinely, I actually kind of like that one.
Thank you. Okay, vindication.
I know I said I was going to pretend, but actually I like that one.
I don't know if I can take you at your word at this point.
No, I actually really like that one. Marcellia is cute. I like that.
Marcellia. It's cute, yeah.
I really like that one. That was great.
It's like a good name for like an upper middle class girl who has a horse. Like, I'm Marcellia and this is my pony. I enjoy... Now, we don't hear from Zoe Ball a lot on these. She's really just there to facilitate.
And drive a car.
Not drive a car, pretend to drive a car. I enjoyed her little throwaway line that they were starting behind the judges. A brave move that presumably they had no choice over. And they were just like given this stage. It's like, oh, brave move. I'm like, it's someone's brave move. They're just pawns in this whole scheme.
I mean, at least the judges can see them, rather than some of the other ones where they go to the judges. By the way, this performance is starting inside. You can't see it. Don't worry, she'll come out at some point in the future. Don't worry about that. She'll be here. Just
I mean, performing behind the judges, giving it like Leah Michelle's season 1 Glee, Don't Rain on My Parade, is also what UK theatre audiences would class as immersive. So they were having...
Oh yeah. This is basically cabaret.
It was immersive, and they were on location in Greece, so it was site-specific, it was immersive. God, the amount you could charge for those tickets with that many adjectives on the front of them. Anyway, were they singing Night Fever? Were they singing Night Fever from Saturday Night Fever? Bee Gees?
Is it fashion time?
Let's talk about the fashion. Is it fashion?
Leah, another one, who just looks gorgeous every single time. Like, glam, whoever her team doing her glam. She looks stunning every time. Her hair today.
Again, we have no reason to believe that they each have dedicated glam teams.
Actually, I think she has said that she does have someone doing her makeup.
Maybe I don't know.
Because it's so weird. She followed me, which is it's a very weird feeling that like a couple of the Mamma Mia girls have followed me, and if you have, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, last week Leah shared like one of your comments, and I was like, "Damn right," because it was the comment where they were saying about having a non-binary or a female Sky, which I was like, yes, please. Amazing.
I'm here for more queer representation in Mamma Mia, a show that appeals to like an LGBT fan base, but doesn't really. There's a little bit of queer representation, but it could be louder and brighter.
I feel like I think the queer representation in Mamma Mia works, but I wouldn't call it the strongest queer representation like in the West End.
Yeah, but we're dangerously close into turning this into a thesis, and you were just talking about a jumpsuit, so let's circle back to that.
I think it's of its time. But anyway, fashion. She always looked great. What I say, Marcellus, favourite look of the week. Marcellus is probably the most fashionable guy there. I feel like every single time, he is probably the most fashionable guy. I really enjoyed what they put him in. And this week, like the blue colours on him, I actually preferred it without the blazer. But even with it, even with like the pop of white, loved it. Let's talk about the actual performance though.
I think they had one of the more up-tempo dances to do. And from that, Leah was another one that we saw struggling with vocal stamina a little bit. It was a lot to contend with. Yes,
I have in my notes here, I think it did kind of weaken a little bit as it went on. You could tell that they were losing their breath a little bit, but I mean, compare it to the dancing that the last couple had, and I can't judge it too harshly then. I enjoyed it. I think they had a nice style to it, but I don't think I would necessarily call it the strongest of the week.
No, I didn't think so either. There was another vocal confusion from, I don't know who's doing the vocal arrangements on this show. I don't mean to at you so consistently, but where was the counter melody? Because when you get to the end of this song and you have your night fever, there's a counter melody that goes, feels like forever, baby, don't you know? Night fever, we know how to show it. I'll leave you never, baby, don't you know? Where was that? You have two people, you're turning these songs into duets when they weren't in the first place, and we're not going to put in the counter melody that already exists? What is that about?
How dare you not put in this counter melody in the 24 hours you have to put this song together when you've got to focus on like 5 different couples? How dare you?
Leah seemed to have a little bit more fun in this. They said that she'd found her zone. Marcellus got the same vocal note from Amber Riley that he'd had before, that it was a little bit shaky.
And when you have that note a couple of times, girl, you're in danger.
When it's vocals as well, and that's like a consistent problem. Last week he had finally like climbed that mountain, and they said that it was vocally a stronger week. Now he seems back where he was before. Does it feel like he's living on borrowed time at this point?
I worry a little bit.
I do want to talk about one other critique they gave, because they said that Leah had proved herself as a triple threat, but had she proved it too late? What's too late to establish that you're talented? What does that have to do with anything?
I wrote down, because they said, why are we only seeing this now? It might be because this competition facilitates growth, and she's growing and showing herself and proving herself more and more as a performer and a potential Sky. Not Sky. That's the other one.
I want to see her Sky. Leah will be playing. Here's the newsflash. Leah will be Sky.
I think she's like growing and proving herself as a potential Sophie. I think it's a weird criticism to give, and it's why I was kind of like, oh, I'm worried for her.
It just felt as though they were trying to find another way to say we don't really see her in this role, because that's something we'd heard in previous weeks. And again, she's very talented. I don't know. I just feel as though I think she's got an amazing voice. I don't hear a Sophie quality in it necessarily. I want to see her on stage in a bunch of different things. I just don't know if this is the role for her.
I don't know. The more I've seen of her, like I'm more like willing and more open to see her do a role like Sophie. But there's so much she can do. She's got probably one of my favorite voices out of all of the girls. I'm just saying that right here. I think vocally, I think she's probably, if not my favorite, one of my favorites. And I think there is a wealth of opportunities that are going to open the door to her. And I think she's amazing. And I think she's gorgeous. And I love her.
Yeah.
Again, just like I said with my favorite, Maddie, we would vibe. I would take Leah to a press night.
Is the ghost of Maddie still lingering in this episode 5 recap?
Yes. I'm still mad.
Still mad. She's not over it. So then we had our final couple, which bodes well for them because they like to put strong performances last. And this was Team Esme. Thoughts about Esme?
I like that one. Esme.
Sold on Esme.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because it kind of rhymes. It kind of rhymes a little bit. There's like a rhyming quality to it. I think it worked, yes.
Now, this was the pairing I had asked for. Esme said back at the beginning that she felt more comfortable in this pairing. We'd already worked out last week they were going to be doing contemporary dance because they weren't wearing shoes. And that's what we got. It was this kind of like lyrical, modern, vibey thing. Esme was another one to say that dance is not her strongest asset. And it was interesting. So they had True Colours.
Yeah.
A song that has been performed on one of these casting shows before. Neve Perry sang it back on the I'd Do Anything casting a Nancy and Oliver series, and she was told she wasn't bringing enough like grit to it, if I remember correctly, and she was a little bit frustrated.
Grit?
I mean, it's like...
Grit?
It's not that kind of a song, exactly.
Grit? Okay.
The anger that lingers behind True Colours, like, I see your true colours.
I see your true colours, you bitch.
You with the sad eyes. How dare you?
I'm going to talk about fashion because that's what I do first. Esme's dress, gorgeous. That is a dress and a half. I love that dress. Yeah. I adore that dress. That dress looks amazing on her as well. Just girl is serving and slaying it. Amazing. Strong 9 out of 10 for that one. If I feel like it's between that one and Desmonda's as my favorite of the week. Craig's was very simple. It was fine. It was the typical boy outfit. It was fine.
What is it that you would like for these men to be dressed in? What are you hoping for next? If you had your way,
flares.
What would be happening here? Just flares.
You know the end outfits that the dads come out in at the end of Mamiya? Yeah, those.
I do know those outfits. Yeah, okay.
Like I just want a little bit more variety out of what the guys are wearing. Like
that's
whenever
what we're wearing if
like
we get invited to the finale.
It's very simple to just give them all like the button-up shirts and like that. Like if you're going to do that, I want to see them having like stronger patterns. I want to see them like being a bit bolder. I want to see just some variety in like the colors as well. It's a lot of blues and whites and salmon pinks randomly. It's like, I don't know. I feel like the boys aren't being like pushed as much fashion-wise as the girls, which probably doesn't matter that much because I am talking about fashion in a TV show that has nothing to do with fashion.
Once again, let's sidestep and talk about their performance because this is a song that could just driving over you as you lie down in the middle of the road screaming about fashion.
If I lay here, if I just lay here, will you lie with me and just talk about fashion?
What were you just saying about your camera battery being low?
I've got one bar, it's fine. We got time.
True Colours, Cyndi Lauper, potentially boring song, unless you bring a kind of an intensity to it. Not grit, necessarily, but I thought they brought that intensity. Craig, I thought, was maybe a little stronger.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
But I also thought, for what it was worth, and I'd been curious to see this specific pairing, I thought these two work together. And his reading a little bit older and her being a little bit taller, neither of those things mattered in this particular coupling. I don't know that he could play against every Sophie. I don't know that she could play against every Sky. I thought both of them didn't have the right chemistry in their couples last week, but this week, this worked for me.
they had the confidence, and I think they proved why they had the confidence with this pairing. They both did extremely well at playing off each other, and I could see them as a Sophie and a Sky.
Amber said that Esme had something to prove, and she proved it. I mean, she was coming from this new bottom two element that they've recently introduced, just to kind of light a fire underneath someone to see what will happen, and that seemed to go well for her this week. Jessie said that it was triple threat, and Amber said that Craig was slowly moving to the front of the pack, and I tend to agree. I think he's been very professional and very strong, and he's been getting this slightly off critiques, I've thought, where they've been just kind of like picking apart, but he's very talented. What I'm still not 100% sure about is whether it's Sky. That's the only thing for me.
I think the thing is with Sky, though, I think a Sky is very malleable, as I said last time I was on this show, and I feel like I would like to see him get a couple more of like the acting moments. I really want to see a workshop next week where they do another acting piece, because I want to kind of dive more into that, because I feel like where you see a lot of like the Skyisms, as I'm going to call them, is within his relationship with Sophie and like the different like scenes that they have together. I'd like to see a little bit more of that to like really determine whether or not he is Sky material.
You'd hate Sky material because it would be blue and white.
Blue and white. It's just when I like blue and white. It's just when every single boy is wearing blue and white every 5 seconds. It's just when every single...
What is blue and white if not Sky material? What I liked was as we went into the deliberation portion, we got a lot of interesting feedback that the judges were sharing. They said Esme needs stage presence. Craig needs to have fun. I agree.
Yep.
Tobias has had 2 killer weeks. He's done really well.
Oh, yes.
Owen is delivering on like entertaining, cheeky fun, but there maybe needs to be a little bit more depth there.
Which are very valid and helpful critiques that I do kind of hope that they are... I mean, obviously it's a TV show. We're not seeing everything, but I do hope some of these like very like down to earth, I guess the word is, like these very like clear critiques are being delivered to these contestants and not just done when they're alone.
We don't know how long the judges' feedback actually happens for after their performances, and if what we see is just like a condensed vote. If it's anything like Drag Race, that goes on for a very long time.
Yes.
Marcellus, they said, can't control his voice, which is a pretty damning thing to say.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much longer Marcellus has on in him, I guess. I'm just not sure the judges are like completely vibing with everything that Marcellus is bringing.
Yeah, I just don't think his energy is quite in the right place, which is a very wishy-washy thing for me to say, but that's how I feel. Zachkiel had similar notes. He wasn't really like lucid enough and kind of just like solid, but he hadn't really wowed them yet. He had some similar vocal feedback as well. They said Desmonda, who has been getting really positive responses in her songs the last few weeks, they kind of walked that back a little bit, and they said Desmonda was a little boring in the workshop and they didn't see a Sophie.
It was strange because I don't think that I think the girls, and they were very clear about this, the girls were so hard to pick between this week. Like I don't think a single girl like really tripped this week.
No, I don't think that many people tripped at all, but we had these bottom twos again, and Leah and Marcellus being there didn't hugely surprise me. Zachkiel didn't hugely surprise me, but I hadn't expected them to just do it in couples. Now, whether this was accidental, they ended up being in couples, I don't know, but Desmonda was, I think, the surprise in the bottom two.
Yes. I don't know. As I said, I think this is it's splitting hairs, but would I have put her in the bottom two? Probably not. But then again, I don't know who I would have put there instead.
It was a very difficult choice this week. It was a very difficult choice. We ended up losing Leah and Zachkiel.
Why do all my favourites keep leaving?
It's sad.
This is homophobic.
And I think they're both really exciting talents. They're both so young.
Yes.
And they both are such interesting performers who bring so much energy and so much of their own individuality to the stage. I'm so excited to see them on stage. Do I think that Sophie and Sky are the most interesting roles for them to go into? No. And I'm glad they've had this platform to like catapult their careers to this next level. I'm excited to see them in something. I don't know what that will be, but manifesting here on this YouTube channel that we will see Leah and Zachkiel on stage in something soon, because I think they'd both be great. And
they've both got so much potential. I think
they do.
I think there's so many roles that I feel like could really benefit them and even grow as performers. And yeah, I think they're just both. Everyone on this show is so fantastic, and I can't wait to see every single one of them keep growing and growing and growing.
So then let's talk power rankings and where this kind of leaves everyone else. So obviously Leah is at the bottom of the Sophies this week because she has now been, I was going to say disqualified. She hasn't been disqualified. She's just been eliminated from the competition.
She's on a flight back from Jet 2 holidays. She's gone. Sayonara.
She's on a Jet 2 holidays flight. Did you enter the competition this week?
No. Why would I enter the...
I hadn't even heard of the Greek island it was this. Again, I didn't. I should have entered the competition. But
it was Corfu this week. It's literally where they're filming, right?
It wasn't Corfu this week. No, it started with an H.
No, it was Corfu last week. I swear Corfu was this week.
It was like I don't think it was Corfu. Roll the
I
footage.
think it was Corfu.
I don't have the footage. But once again, we've seen a fall from grace because Desmonda, who topped the power ranking last week, has fallen into the bottom too. So I feel like I have to put her in the penultimate position on this power ranking. She has to be next up from Leah, right?
Yeah, I mean, are you basing it just on this week or the competition as a whole?
I don't know, because being the most recent in the bottom two puts her in a position where next week, if she doesn't really deliver, I feel like she's on the chopping block now. And we said before, she's in a weird position where the strongest vocally, but now has conspicuous areas that need improvement.
Yeah. I feel like, despite being at the bottom of this ranking, I think if anyone can climb it back, it is Desmonda.
And she may go on to have the most exciting... I mean, she's already having a really exciting career. She may go on to have the most exciting career after this, because what she's good at, she's so good at.
Amazing. Yes.
I don't know, if another acting challenge comes along and she can't show improvement, that's then going to be making the same mistake twice, which we've already discussed is not a great thing. Then we have immediately our top three. And the bottom of this top three, I put Esme. I don't think she lit the judges on fire this week. She had a stronger week than last, but she's just kind of re-finding her footing after a shaky week previously, I think. I don't think she's yet topping this power ranking.
Yeah, I think there's so much potential in her. And I think she has...
I mean, in all of them.
Yeah, she. I think out of all of these four, there is something Sophie about them, which makes it really hard to do a power ranking for them. Yeah. I'm excited to see what Esme does next week. That's...
Yeah. I want her to have a full, coming into the full force of all of her strengths. I put Stephanie in second place.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know. Well, maybe based on the week she had, that was a little high. I don't know. I mean, this week shook up a lot of things.
I think
it's difficult to see where they fall.
I think Stevie had the best week this week. I would probably
Stevie definitely had the best week.
I would probably put her here though. I would probably put her just below Stephanie, personally. But I think the thing is, she's having such an upwards trajectory that I'm really interested to see what she does. I'm really interested to see what she does
next week is going to be such an interesting one, I think.
You know, I think they're going to have the hardest time judging next week as well.
Meanwhile, for the boys, Zachkiel being the eliminated one. Next up was Marcellus. He was in the bottom two, and the way that he got feedback from the judges, like we said, he has these conspicuous issues now that really need to be changed and fast.
Yeah, he needs a really good week next week, or I'm very scared for him.
We've also seen him with two Sophies in a row that I didn't really feel he had chemistry with. So
who would you pair him with?
At this point, it's like...
Who do you think out of the remaining Sophies would be the best fit for him?
I don't even know. I think I would struggle to see him with any that... Maybe Stevie? I'd be intrigued to see him with Stevie. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I'd be intrigued about that. I don't think that's who he's with next week.
I mean, wait, has Marcellus been with the people who've gone home twice in a row?
No, he was with Esme last week.
Ah, okay. Well, she was bottom 2, right?
Marcellus is not the kiss of death. We've established that to you. She was bottom 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the kiss of death. Mwah.
Next up, in third place, we have Owen, doing consistently well.
Yeah.
But just I don't know if it's giving Sky, as the kids would say, and because Craig is climbing, and the judges are kind of like warming to Craig. I think they've been sleeping on Craig personally.
Yeah.
He is climbing up, and they said he is moving towards the front of the pack. What is that if not second place? Meanwhile, Tobias still killing the game.
Yes.
Tobias first place.
That's the exact order I wrote down. Yes, I agree.
The boys are much easier to rank, and it's getting very hard for me to imagine a final that doesn't have Tobias in it.
I think Tobias is... Yeah, I think he would have to do just like something. He would have to really slip up now to not at least make it another week.
Do you know the pair I still want to see is my week 1 winner predictions, Tobias and Stephanie. I want to see them together, but again, I don't think they are next week. I am waiting to see that combo.
I was really hoping that they were together next week. What's the theme for next week?
Well, next week, I don't know if I know what the theme is, but I do know that West End leading lady Maz Murray has flown over to Greece, and she is... Did you not know this?
No, I did not. What?
She's the guest judge. Maz is there.
Oh, hell yes. Oh, I love this.
We've been asking for it. Finally, it's happening. Maz Murray's getting involved, so I'm guessing that she'll be doing some sort of a acting challenge.
Yeah, I assume they're doing a workshop.
The Sophies.
Yeah, I assume they do like a...
You'd have to assume so.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be great. I can't wait.
So, just to give you a glimpse of next week then, along with Maz Murray being involved, we have Tobias and Esme. I believe he is the tallest boy.
Oh, okay. That could work.
So, that'll be interesting seeing that together. Stevie's with Craig.
Again, another pairing that I feel like could work, yes.
Oh, you're not going to like Tobias's outfit. I'm telling you that already.
Oh, God. Is it a white shirt and white jeans?
It's literally a white shirt and white jeans.
And what about a colourful top?
No, it's just a white button-up shirt. He's literally just wearing white.
Oh, no, we've gone fully into the all white, yeah.
Yeah. Stevie and Craig are in red, but we'll talk about this more next week.
Yeah.
You have all of this to look forward to. Stephanie is with Marcellus, which will be interesting.
Okay.
Desmonda is with Owen, and we're down to just 4 couples. So
we're getting close to it.
We're getting near to the final.
Oh my God.
We're getting close. Without predicting the winners or who will go home next, let's just say, who do you think will be in that final? Because I think Tobias for sure will be there.
Tobias, yes. At the moment, I would say Craig. I think Craig's probably... Are we having... Is it 2 each? 2 each, I assume, for the finale?
I believe we're going to see 2 Sophies and 2 Skys.
Yes. I think it's a shame we're not having a top 3, but I guess they would have to really slow down the amount of Skys and Sophies.
I don't know how many hours they want people to be in that theatre.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. I think Tobias and Craig personally right now would be the 2. The girls...
I could see a Tobias-Owen combination as well.
The girls are so hard to say. I think it's so hard to say for the girls. Like, I could see any combination right now of the girls going in. Just, I can't even, like, predict it.
I think Stevie will be there. I think Stevie is on an upwards trajectory. And
yeah.
I'm rooting for so many. I'm rooting for all of them. I want them all to succeed. But I don't know. Maybe it's still too early to say with the girls.
Yeah. They're just all so good. Everyone's so good on this show. Why are they all so talented?
They are. And if you want to see how they perform next week, then you can tune in this coming Sunday on ITV1 to watch the next episode of Mamma Mia, I Have a Dream. We are getting close to that final, and it's very exciting. Who knows what's going to happen next?
And will we get invited? Let's find out.
Will we get invited? That's really the big question here. What will we wear if we do? You know, we'll wear something.
I would look so good. I will
let Ellie Talks Theatre style me if we get invited to this event.
Oh, you're gonna look gorgeous. So you will have that
to both fear and look forward to. I'm nervous just anticipating it. But thank you for joining me this week, Ellie Talks Theatre.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. I'm here every week. What are we talking about?
She's always there. She finds her way in. Thank you all for watching us and justifying us sitting here for an hour and a half talking about all of this. I hope Willow's still okay. We haven't heard from her in a while.
Oh no, I think somebody else came into my house, so she's probably chilling now.
I'm hoping that's someone you live with and not just like someone else just entered the property. So now it's fine.
Who's here? What?
And so this week's episode ends, as always, with a home invasion. Thank you for watching, and
if someone breaks in my house, hear me SOS.
Yeah, if you see a shadowy figure behind Ellie Talks Theatre right now, then please call the police or comment below. And we will see you here next week. I've gone fully mad at this point. We will see you again next week for more Mamma Mia, I Have a Dream recap. Go follow Ellie on socials. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Go and watch Mamma Mia, I Have a Dream, and then come back next week to see what we think about it. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, and I hope that everyone is staying safe and that you have a stagey day. For 10 more seconds, I'm MickeyJoTheatre. Oh my god, hey. Thanks for watching, have a stagey day. Subscribe!